Hey guys, here's my race recap video from yesterday, which would have been September 28th. Today's the 29th. I just got home really late last night, and I was so tired I didn't want to get to it late last night. Anyway, as far as it goes in Truggy, things didn't go so well for me in Truggy. I just couldn't seem to get it together. I don't know, probably most of it may have been to just driver issues. My head just didn't seem to be in it for Truggy, although a Truggy is easier to drive than a buggy. I just couldn't get my head in the game. I think I hung right around 5th place, and there was only 7 of us racing in the Truggy class. Yeah, it just seems so sluggish in the corners. I don't know if it was just me or, if it was a Truggy. The tires could have been the issue. I think most of it was due to driver. Just didn't really, I even in the main, I think I started in 5th, and I maybe moved up 1 spot, finished 4th out of the race. Just had a hard time in traffic, everything. It wasn't going my way in Truggy the way I expected it. As far as it goes in buggy, however, that went much better for me. Qualifying, I had some issues in qualifying. I think I started in 5th in qualifying, and which wasn't too bad. And in the qualifiers, I went up on my lid, and it was sitting there, and then after I think the second qualifier, there was tons of fuel all over the top of the tank, and I'm like, oh man. So I lifted the lid up. I was gonna kind of wipe it off, and it was really dry rotted the cap. Luckily, the owner of the track had a spare fuel tank, so I just went and got it off him, swapped it out real quick, and I seem to always do better in the mains. So the qualifying, like I said, averaged right around 5th. I might have got 4th at one time. We had 4 qualifiers, but they do a rocket round, which is your fastest, going to be your fastest qualifiers, where they're gonna use that as your best time, and that's where you're gonna place. So I ended up getting 4th, and there was a lot of traffic I had to get through, but anyway, I finished 2nd overall, which I think is pretty good for the last race of the season. I was pretty happy about this. It was one heck of a battle getting up to 2nd place, and there's a few funny stories about this too. Me and the one guy, we were back and forth, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd. It was just all the way through. I came in for fuel, and we didn't have a whole heck of a lot of people there, so there was just whoever's standing around in the pits. You just drive your car up to there, point to your fuel bottle, they put the fuel in, and they go. Well, I pulled up to the one guy. He just looked at me, I pointed, and he grabbed the wrong fuel bottle and put the wrong fuel in my tank between fuel ups. And I said, oh, and I was pointing, no, the orange bottle. He ended up putting some other fuel in there. I think it was O'Donnell. Didn't matter. But I was sitting in the pits forever because I thought he had not filled it up when he heard me yelling, and I was pointing to the orange tank, and then he finally yelled up to me, I already put this fuel in it. So I just took off and went. It bogged out like once. I was like, oh man. Well, in that time, it was at like the 6-minute mark or something. We only ran a 10-minute race. It was kind of short. I took off, but I had already lost, I think, 2 spots, so that put me back from 2nd to 4th. I had to fight my way back up to the field for the last few minutes of racing. Then we were back and forth in 2nd and 3rd again, and then time had expired. I was in 3rd. I thought, oh man. My buddy Mark was ahead of me, and he was maybe 3 seconds up on me. I was gaining on him. So we come across, and there is a triple jump right before a couple other turns, and then there's a scoring loop. Well, on that triple jump, I was pretty close to him, and he knew I was back there, and I think it kind of put the pressure on him. He ended up on his lid at the end of the triple. I think he caught the edge of the tubing, flipped on his lid, and that was my opportunity. I passed by him. Like I said, time was already expired, so I blew by him, and I completed my lap. That was the end of the race. I ended up second. Hadn't I had that fuel mishap, I think I could have gotten first place. I was getting up to the guy, but then with the fuel mishap, I just stayed in the pits too long because I didn't want to go off the track and run out of fuel. I wasn't sure if he squirted it with fuel, and he did. I didn't realize it, so that's what took me so long. But I think second place overall isn't bad, considering I started in fifth, got up to second, fell back in the pit stop, got back up to second, and that's where I finished. So I think I did pretty good overall. The engine, the buggy was just unbelievably dialed. It was one of those days where I just couldn't do anything wrong on the track. Just didn't matter. I mean, the tires were hooked up. The setup was just kept staying on top of it, like I've always said, and everything was just perfect. And it was kind of funny. We were joking around that my buddy Aaron, that's whose fuel I got, so he actually sponsored me for fuel for the race, so I guess I'd have to thank him the next time I see him again for the fuel sponsorship for the day. But like I said, the Truggy just, it ran good. I just couldn't get it in my head to, it just wasn't in my head for some reason. I couldn't get it going. But anyway, still a good day. I had a lot of fun. We did have a lot of fun throughout the whole day, actually. A lot of joking around and just cool stuff. It's kind of a bummer. It's the last race of the season, so that was kind of depressing, not going to be able to see these guys for a while. But we got indoor season coming up. I think I'm going to take part in that. I want to get something to run indoors. But like I said, yeah, everything needs to be cleaned up now. This thing just ran so good. I had zero issues after the fuel tank. The engine was actually running really lean, but that's because the tank wasn't sealing. As soon as I put the new tank in and fired it up, this thing just idled and ran 10 times better than what it already was. I had compensated on the tune probably for the lean situation, so I actually had to lean the motor out more because I was richening it up so much to compensate for that lean condition. Outside of that, though, I mean, she was dialed. She was very dialed. The Truggy could have been better. I just have to do better. And so yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Maybe I didn't bore you too much. My first race recap video, so I'm not really too comfortable about saying anything here. I guess it's just kind of odd for me, but hopefully you like it. If you got any questions, just go ahead and ask me in the comments below. And I hope you enjoy this, guys. I certainly did. I'm pretty darn proud of this here. Second place is pretty darn good. Second place is the first loser. But yeah, it was awesome, man. I had a really good time. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and you guys take care. Have a real good one, okay? Thanks.